Hey everyone, welcome to the next episode of the Paddle Talk Podcast. Great to have you along. We've got a great show this week. We've got some recaps from racing that happened this past weekend, previews of some racing coming up, which there's a lot going on, especially around here in the Midwest. And we've also got some interesting news and that sort of thing coming up. So stay tuned. Got a great show for you. And this podcast, just like every episode of the Paddle Talk Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Racing in the Dirt, as well as Silverback Off-Road Speedway and Silverback Off-Road Rentals. So let's dive right into it. Now that John Sorg has chosen to get on board, Johnny, how are we doing?
Oh, it's hotter than shit out here.
We're in the same heat range there, boss. So yes, I know it's
I
horrible.
know.
Y'all are in
It's-
the cold stuff. This is 95
It's a matter
before
of
the humidity.
survival out there.
95. It was 97 when I came home from work today in the thermometer
Yes.
outside my truck. It was
Yeah,
horrible.
you got nothing there.
And about a million, 105% humidity, it felt like.
Yeah, the weather switched
Yeah.
for us all of a sudden. It's usually hotter down here than what it is up there for you guys. It was 89 today. So
Oof.
I would
Yuck.
have took that.
Yeah, I probably would have too. So,
Agreed.
all right. So, gents, we had some racing this past weekend. We had Texas Sand Drags. Had some racing going
Texas Sand Motorplex.
on. Texas Sand Motorplex. That's right. We had the guy on a couple weeks ago, talked about that. They had a race this past weekend. Thunder Valley had their truck show and did some racing. I saw there was a Cyber Beast out there. That was pretty interesting.
Dude, honestly, there's a bunch of, I posted that video of it, and it ran a 5:30, which is it's pretty impressive.
That
For
is
an
pretty impressive.
8,000-pound truck.
Yeah.
Because I was in the tower, and when it ran at 5:30, the mile per hour, because it was a hard packed race too, it was like 65, 67 miles an hour too.
That's
So that was-
rolling, man.
it's the 300 foot. It's
So no
was a-
60-foot time, but by God, it was trucking.
shocking news. It was the fastest truck on the property.
What?
Yeah.
Not really surprised by that, honestly.
Well,
Really?
I mean, I was surprised because that diesel came last year and ran 460s and 450s.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. There wasn't a diesel on there that could run quicker than that.
I think a diesel dipped into the 540s, but usually, if they're not set up the way that Corey's dude was, then it's just I don't even remember the whole setup with Corey's truck. They ran the 460. He's actually our World Sand Drag News record holder for pure street diesel. He broke that at the race last year, but he may
rock
show
on.
up to the race in October because we're planning on doing another one in October, but they'll probably trim down the classes because they won't have as much track staff. I won't be there. I'm going to Atoka that weekend, October 11th. And I know Jamie Windsor, shout out to Jamie Windsor for multiple reasons. I'll get into that later. Jamie Windsor helped set up the lights at Thunder Valley. He's kind of an important part of the track. He is taking his daughter, Ava, to a no-bar race in Oklahoma, which is Sand Wars, which is probably the highest paying sand drag race every year. And it's just they'll be fine though. But it's a good time. It's a good race. It's literally the biggest event Thunder Valley puts on every year. I talked to my buddy Rob, and he said he probably, we had multiple people working the gate, and he said himself he probably had $4,000 run through his hands just in gate money.
Wow.
So
That's impressive.
yeah, and the track's doing well, and we just gotta get the, no, I was about to go into the whole thing, but the truck show was good, and we had some side by sides on the property as well. Our open class was actually trucks and side by sides together, which after seeing it happen may have been the wrong choice, but I mean, open is open, so. But it is what it is. I'm gonna keep it for October if they want to do it that way. So I don't really care.
So open as in open heads up, or open
Correct.
as in open bracket?
Open heads up.
Oh.
We did have a bracket
Well-
class advertised, but a lot of people got confused on what bracket racing was, and I kept having to explain it. So not really a lot of people signed up for that. The side-by-side class was a bracket race, and the gas truck class was a bracket race. The diesel truck class was originally supposed to be a bracket race because there's a bunch of people bitching and moaning that Corey, I believe his name's Corey Lawyer. Corey Lawyer showed up with that truck that ran 460s, 450s. This is a Dodge of some sort. I can't remember.
Whoa, wait a minute. Is this the same Dodge that Matthew St. John was for Lincoln like this past weekend? I think it is. Isn't that dude from Iowa?
Yeah.
He is. The same guy that came to the Snow Hill climb. Shout out Matthew St. John, by the way. That was some primo work on that thing. Very sharp looking. But yes, I believe they four-linked that truck over the weekend. If you look up Matthew St. John and Corey's page, and yes, that truck is stout.
That guy.
Yep, that's the dude.
Yeah, that's the guy, and that's the truck right there.
Yep.
Yeah, this truck. Yeah, it's the he wasn't even at the race when we're talking about this guy. He's got very fast truck. But there was a lot of bitching and moaning because they're saying we needed horsepower limits and tech inspections because it's unfair when one truck is way that much faster than the other and blah blah blah. And I didn't want to deal with that shit, so I made it a bracket race instead. And then I just had to keep explaining what bracket racing was to people. So I got all the drivers for the diesel class and the gas class together. I said, hey, let's vote on it right now. Y'all want a bracket race? Y'all want a heads up? And the diesel guys voted heads up, and the gas class guys voted bracket. So that's how that happened.
Well, I can't get my.
I know you're trying to show me something. There, I saw it for a brief second.
Yes, that is that truck, and yeah, that is a.
Send that to me, and I'll show it to people.
I mean, if you get enough interest in that, I know some mud truck guys that might be able to run with that diesel truck.
Well, what's really funny is whenever I told people what the diesel record was, and then the gas guys get all excited, and they're like, "Oh, there's no way the gas record's that fast." and then they find out that it's like a 445, and they're just like,
"Oh,
yeah,
no, it's on sand, no less,
no crap,
not on hard pack."
Yeah, Newtown.
Yeah, I just tagged you in it. So.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Corey Lawyer's got a nice truck, but he was not there this weekend. I wish he was. But the diesel class was a little exciting. We had to do some reruns because all these classes we ran this weekend were trophy classes, and some people just we just go so pissed off about stuff. Like we had somebody say that they were getting burnt down by another racer, and we had to rerun a race because of that, and then we had to rerun a race because
wait a minute, time out, Billy.
Well, first of all, we do reruns if both drivers agree on it. That's the only thing we do.
How'd they do a burn down on a street vehicle?
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
They're diesel trucks, as hard as they bring them up on boost, they'll sit there 10 to 20 seconds on the torque converter or on the clutch trying to build boost up and trying to hold it there, because if they let off, it's gone.
Well, and thankfully, the guy who flips the switch to drop the lights for us is a diesel mechanic, so he can sit up there and be like, "Dude, don't even spool it up yet." You're just like, you know what I mean? Because some people were like getting 20 feet away from the beans and starting to do it, and then he was like, "No, do it right here." Oh, you
guys still have push button start.
Oh yeah,
I thought you guys had auto start.
Oh yeah, we're old school. No, auto start's for losers. Yeah, you got to do it yourself.
Whoa, strong words.
I don't care. We're Wally Parks in this thing, man. We're flipping the button. You know what I mean?
Well, unless you're missing a bolt out of your titanium shield. Oh, Sean Langdon.
Wow, that hurt.
I heard about that.
There, Isaac, a little early.
Yeah. Well, anyway, anyway, these results from the Thunder Valley Sand Drags, truck drags, and show and shine. Which, first of all, shout out to 816 Custom Lighting for just really. I'm gonna be honest. This dude brings the show. Me and him got together a couple of years ago after the first truck show, and he was part of the group that originally started it. Although the other two members were kind of young shitheads, and we kind of got rid of them. So me and Nathan got together and kind of made this thing what it was now. And He really brings the show. All these people show up. He just makes a post on his Snapchat and people talk about it for months. And this dude does a really good job at that. I got to get him to do it with the sand drags a little more. But he's a big help when it comes to putting these races on because he gets tons of entries in the truck show part of it. He runs the truck show, we run the truck drags, and it works pretty good. It's a really good partnership me and Nathan have together. And yeah, so shout out to Nathan from 816 Custom Lighting. So anyway, I don't have any truck show results, so these are just truck drags. So we'll start with the side-by-side class. Second place was Josh Hibden, and then first place was Tori Pitts. Both of them running Can-Am side-by-sides.
Is that why he was selling all of his bike stuff? Because he bought himself a Can-Am.
Who, Josh Hibden?
Yes.
No, dude. That dude's got bikes for days. He's probably got 2 or 3 triples, no bar triples. He's probably got a triple sitting in a bar bike right now. He's got shit. They just don't bring out a whole lot when they come racing. They only bring out a couple, but they got a whole stable. Gas class, second place, Tori Pitts. So that's Tori's second podium of the weekend. He took runner-up to Adam Wilson. Adam Wilson taking the win in his Ford F-150. Tori Pitts in his Chevy Silverado. And then the diesel class, I should say the gas class was a bracket race. The side-by-side class was a bracket race. Diesel class was heads up. And first place was Braden Redding. Oh, gosh, I can't remember what he was driving. I believe he was in a Dodge. Silver Dodge, I believe. No, I take that back. He was in a Silverado. That's what it was. Okay. He was in a Silverado. And then Thomas Yoder taking second place. The first time we ever ran this race, Thomas Yoder or his brother, I can't remember. The Yoders showed up in full force for the first event, and they showed up every year, and they end up always getting on the podium every year. So Thomas Yoder getting second place in the diesel class, and he was in a Ford F-250, I believe.
Is he Amish?
No, I think he's one of the Weber Valley.
He did not look Amish, so I don't know. No, he'd have to bracket race a horse and buggy if he was Amish, wouldn't he?
No, that's the whole Rumspringa thing. That's where all these kids, like down northern Indiana, they come out in droves with these diesel trucks. Because when they're on the Rumspringa, they spend all their money on these diesel pickups. I'm serious, man. Hey, couple weeks, I am racing in Elkhart, Indiana. We're gonna do some WSDN TV.
Yeah,
I'm talking like 30 to 40 of these mod diesels, and like half of them are these bowl cut Amish kids.
Dude, yes. You need to film. You need to go live for that.
And hey, you know what else they like to do? They love to bet. It's right up your alley, man.
Holy shit, when is that?
Billy gonna fly up to Fort Wayne and
yeah, you just send me dates and I'll take some Amish kids' money. I don't give a fuck. We'll bet nickels and quarters. I don't give a damn. Or whatever. We'll bet milk cartons and freaking straws of hay or something.
You'll be trying to load 2 dozen chickens and a milk cow onto your mini bike to go back to Kansas.
Does KOI do bracket racing? I got him on the mini bike.
They do some indexes.
Okay, we're gonna get into that later. Okay. Dude, we haven't done a WSDN TV in so long.
I'm trying, man.
Oh, dude, but I gotta be better. I meant to get content at this race, but I ended up running the damn thing. But that's fine. Shit happens, and you just got to help out where you got to. So.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, last class we had, huh?
Get in where you fit in.
Exactly.
Ooh.
So anyway, our final class of the evening, which was the open class. So this was side-by-sides and trucks racing together, heads up. And there's 2 side-by-sides in the final. Second place was Joe Brockman. He was actually driving Tori Pitts side-by-side, another Can-Am. It was the same 2 vehicles as the side-by-side final. They were just running heads up in the open final. Josh Hibden taking first place in the open class. Josh Hibden on the hard pack in this, which I assume is like a stock Can-Am, was running 480s.
That's moving.
So, yeah, that's pretty damn good.
480s?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So So yeah, that is Thunder Valley sand drags, truck drags, and show and shine. And we'll have a preview for their race coming up this weekend later on.
Excellent. All right.
We'll take you back to Paddle Talk in just a second. Billy Teeters and Lula Teeters here. Quick ad read for Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series and their race at Silverback Offroad Speedway, July 18th through the 20th. Classes they're going to be running. First of all, the series is for full-size vehicles such as dragsters, trucks, jeeps, buggies, anything like that you see in the sport. They also have side-by-side classes. They also have ATV classes, and they have some really cool 4x4 ATV classes as well. And yeah, she likes that too. And so coming up at the classes they're gonna have a 295 index for cars and side by sides, a 350 index for cars and side by side, what they call Super Pro 449 and faster bracket style for full size and side by sides. The Pro class 450 and slower bracket, full size and side by sides, and then the full size bracket, which is just cars only. Like I said, whenever they say full size, they mean cars, trucks, dragsters, buggies, everything in that variety. And then they have a side-by-side outlaw class, which is heads up pro tree, a side-by-side pro mod class, which is heads up, a side-by-side top sportsman, which is bracket with side-by-sides only, and a side-by-side trail class, which is heads up. And then 4x4 ATV outlaw, which is heads up pro tree, 4x4 ATV pro mod, which is heads up pro tree, 4x4 ATV trail, which is heads up pro tree as well. And a note, depending on the track, we may be able to run a 4x4 ATV side-by-sides and full size together. Silverback is an example. So like it sounds like all the bracket races are going to be the vehicles just combined. So we'll get Dave on next week to touch on that a little more. But yeah, his race at Silverback Off-Road Speedway, July 18th through the 20th. He's going to have some good prize money to give out at that race. I just listed all the classes. You can find all the classes and the rules to those classes at Southern Power Sports Drag Racing Series Facebook page. And we're going back to the pod.
Let's talk a little Texas Sand Motorplex then.
Oh,
what do we know?
Hold on. Surprise interview right now.
Well,
what are you doing? What are you doing?
Driving home.
Driving home?
Yeah.
Hey, you're live on Paddle Talk, live to tape right now. We're talking with Cody Teeters, co-founder of World Sand Drag News. Cody, what are you up to right now?
I'm driving home.
You're driving home. Okay. First of all, what did you think about the Thunder Valley Sand Drags, Truck Drags, and Show and Shine? We just got done with the recap of that. Tell me what you thought.
I wasn't there, so no idea.
Couldn't help me out at all with that. Okay. So Thunder Valley Sand Drags, Bad Nationals this weekend. What do you think?
Hope there's some kind of turnout because the advertising hasn't been great.
I was just gonna say that.
Isaac just said he was just gonna say that.
What'd you
Okay,
say this weekend
anything
was?
positive you want to say about the race possibly?
It may or may not rain.
Wow.
Okay.
That's pretty vanilla there, boss.
Dude, this glass is half empty. I see this.
All right, I'll call you back when I get off here. All right, love you. Bye. Fucker didn't say love me back, piece of shit.
Yeah, he made you look kind of bad.
You see his mindset when it comes to racing now. That's why I can't get him to go anywhere.
Yeah, we gotta get him to snap out of it somehow. You gotta come up with a plan, Billy, and then we need to
Well, now he
implement it.
works weekends, so one of these free weekends he has, or we wait a year from now. Now, if I can get him back to Michigan and get him to race the bike that Jamie Windsor, this is part of the shout out I had for Jamie Windsor. Jamie Windsor fixed up our bike that ran like shit 2 years ago, and it ran phenomenal this weekend. I made a few passes on it, and there's no video because you don't need to see it because I may not had proper safety gear on. And but you know, the bike runs really good. So anyway, if I can get Cody up to Michigan or Atoka or even back to Thunder Valley, the only reason I say Michigan is because he loves going to Michigan. Every time we go, we have such a great time. It's like a whole different world than down here in Kansas. It's flat
That
down
or
here.
Try and get him to Shelton's in November.
Maybe I'll have to see about that. But I think he actually said he works that weekend, so I don't think I can. But
This far out? Come on, man.
Yeah, tell him to quit working.
It's every other weekend he works, so he all he has to do is look at it and be like, oh yeah, I can't. So anyway, sorry, that was Cody Teeters surprise interview. Your turn, Isaac.
Fair enough. All right, let's talk Texas Sand Motorplex. So they had a race down there. Vicky and Damon Hall both went there. Okay,
Correct. They did.
And where are they from?
New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
So they're like right next door.
For some reason, I was thinking California. I'm like, that's
where they usually race.
Well, yes, I realize that. So, so they decided to pack up from New Mexico and make their way over there.
Well, they couldn't have gone far. When we talked to Dave, they said the track was right next to New Mexico.
Right.
So I don't know where in New Mexico they live, but they couldn't have gone very far.
It's got to be closer than going all the way to California.
Yeah.
Right?
Or even Dome, maybe. Probably closer than Dome.
Wow. That'd be impressive. Okay, so how did things go for them at the race, Billy?
You know what? I only know what I know. And what I know is what the videos I've seen online and the conversations I had with Dave Villanueva today via texting and Vicky Hall just a little bit ago. Dave said some cars that they were waiting.
Before we get to what Dave said,
sure.
What was your from the video and the pictures before you had any interview stuff?
Mm-hmm.
What was your take? Because from what I saw, it looked like track have not as much traction as it did last time. I don't know if that's because it got hot and they got all baked up or what.
You know,
and when I say baked up, I mean lack of rain, play,
water,
made it hard.
I don't know what they use to pack. I don't know what they use to grade the track, but the video I'm watching right now, it looks very hard.
Yes,
it looks very hard, and
it looks like it hasn't seen water in a month.
Well, I mean, Atoka will still throw sand up like that at night, and the moisture usually comes up at night in sand. I mean, we all know that.
Yeah,
and
right.
I don't think. Unless the water truck broke, I don't know what happened.
That happens.
But I just don't know. I guess I don't really know what I guess I never really pay attention to what they use for a grading system because, it looks hard. I mean,
yeah, it does. That was my first thought when I saw it. I was like, holy cow.
Because Damon just spins right out the hole. You can even see it in. So I'm on Texas Sand Motorplex, and we're not bashing or anything. We're just going off what we see here.
This is commentary of observance. That's not
I've seen some videos of another record holder of ours. Gotta make sure I get the name right here. Alexis Ortiz, that orange and white Blazer from down there. They are our B Sport Mod record holder, the naturally aspirated over 395 cubic inch motors. And he was having a hard time hooking up there, whereas we've all seen the video at Dome where he wheels split it up to half track out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, he may just be used to like grading it like how he does for bikes, because this would be great for bikes.
Oh, yeah.
Like Isaac, you and I would go down there, we'd have a hell of a time.
I don't know. But anyway.
But I do want to say this. The turnout still looked really dope. Oh shit! Something's playing on my headset and it was really loud. It screwed me up for a second. But the turnout looked really good. You can tell from this video. He posted yesterday at 5 a.m. The track, both sides of the track are just packed. The lights are on. You can see the big rigs towards the right. Once they pan it over there, it looks like they had a really, really good turnout. There's just some things with traction they have to fix with the track. I don't know if it's a watering issue or not, because I've seen the water truck work in previous videos. But yeah, I just thought the track looked a little hard. I thought I thought Damon Hall went on a crazy ride because probably the hard pack stuff. So
Yeah.
Usually when you see a car go left or right, it's because one of those tires is in a harder spot than the other.
Yes.
So,
absolutely.
But yeah, that was my initial reaction from seeing I would have to say like 10 videos I saw.
Yeah. So how did Dave feel about the race, how it went, and everything else then?
So he still thought it went pretty good. Some of the cars they were waiting for didn't show. Savala had some issues. He said car trouble. I don't know if that meant like with the race car or just like if he meant like the truck had problems leaving or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the only result I have as of right now, I'm still waiting on Dave to give me those. He said Jimmy has them. I don't know who Jimmy is, but Jimmy is going to get these results to Dave whenever Jimmy is able to. And the only result I have is that Dave Villanueva won the open class against Damon Hall.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's your open class winner was Dave Villanueva. Second place was Damon Hall. Yeah, and that's really all I got out of Dave. And then Vicky Hall, I asked her how was El Paso and what did Damon run? And they only made 2 passes and the car went sideways both times. And it's a new track, but in time they stay with it. It should be a good track. So they even see what we're talking about here, like the small the issues with the track. I mean, we're really only talking about one.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 with the watering stuff, but we're really only talking about 2 issues that are very, very fixable. And even Vicky and Damon are going to talk about this place and hopefully bring more racers there. You know, it'd be cool. And nice. I think it's going to be a dope place. I'd like to get there sometime.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, it sounds like we're all headed in the right direction. I mean, that's the most important part, right? I mean, we've got a good foundation. We got a good timing system. Sounds like we got a good surface. And maybe they were trying something new grading that weekend too. Who knows? Hard to tell, but yeah.
Right.
Some traction issues maybe, but you know what? Nothing that's insurmountable, I guess, is I think how we're all looking at it. So good things to come though, I feel like.
I agree. I don't know. He's got a promoter that helps him out, and his promoter posts a lot on his own page. This Texas Sand Motorplex page is still new. It's only got almost 250 followers. So you know, in time, this page is going to grow and it will attract more racers. So they don't have a problem with advertising. They just don't have a lot of followers yet. It's a brand new page. So
right. You
just got to get eyes on it.
Yeah.
In time, though.
I think you're right. So, all right. Do we have any more results really for this past weekend? There was supposed to be a race at Greens without an E up here in Michigan. They got rained out with a passing thunderstorm overnight Friday to Saturday, so they ended up canceling. I saw some guys had made their way over there and ended up just rolling back home again. I didn't see anything about Port Huron, so I don't know what happened over there.
I seen testing was going on at Port Huron. Somebody was making passes somewhere.
I've seen a few clips of some side-by-sides that were running there. Some pretty quick times. I don't know exactly what they were, but I've seen a few videos and shots here and there from that.
Sure. So other than that, it's actually kind of a quiet weekend. I mean, to be realistic, you know.
Damien, do you know, you said you knew of a few mud tracks that were running. Can you name, you don't really list the winners. Can you just name some of those tracks that were running and just mention some of their hot classes? And while you do that, I'm going to go roll up the windows in my truck because it's starting to rain. I'll be right back.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
Let's see here.
Boy, I got a question. What was going on? I just seen the thing from Iceland with the guy running a 296 at 111.
Where was this out?
That was in Iceland.
Oh, yeah, they were running this past weekend. They're Auto Fest or whatever. I can't remember what it is. Jacob Cecil, he's helped us out over the years from over there getting information on records and such.
Yeah.
Trip Sports Day Mud Race at Hutchinson County Fairgrounds in Tripp, South Dakota was running. That's one of the races I know of.
There was a race in Iowa this past weekend too, wasn't there? Because I saw a bunch of people.
Yeah,
Coolidge's
because
were
that's
there,
where
some other guys.
Yeah, I just got to figure out where it's at, or figure exactly what it was. Or heck, I know what I need to look up.
I believe that KOI had a mud race, and I think also Bullitt County did, because I saw some guys went to the Bullitt County one, got done early enough, and somehow managed to make it wherever KOI was at and managed to run there too. That's a daily double.
Right?
Imagine that, Johnny, getting done early enough. You can clean the car up, throw her in the trailer, and book over to the next county.
Let's do it.
I'm down.
You want to go?
But try and get the name of this here. Not finding a name, but I know the Coolidges were there. Shambaugh. I cannot find anything with a name of the venue in Iowa that they were running at. But I know Coolidge, he had a bit of an incident where he ripped the right front corner off the car after twisting the axle up so much that it pulled it out of the blinds in the pumpkin in the front.
Yes. Was that on the OPS or was that on his car?
That was on the rail.
Ugh.
And as we all know, a car built for four-wheel drive going into two-wheel drive, all of a sudden, they don't like to go wherever you want to point them. No,
that's pretty much instantaneous. Hold on and hope it's going in a direction you're not going to run into anything.
And he hit the berm of the mud pit next to the fast track, and I think it ripped the right front tire off the car.
Oof. Ouch. That MRA cancellation is going to be expensive for him.
That ain't no lie.
What are we talking about? Coolidge? We talking about Coolidge?
Yeah.
We're good now.
I could not find the name of the venue for the race in Iowa, but I know Tripp County Fairgrounds or Hutchinson County Fairgrounds in Tripp, South Dakota was the race out there, which there's some videos I've been seeing from it as well. Bit more of a regional type race. The race in Iowa, you see more of the MRA field than you would at some other races.
True. So, all right. Well, there was racing action, not a ton of it, but I think really, like I said, I think everybody was kind of looking for a little bit of a down weekend because, let's face it, dirt and sand drag racing is really going to hit its stride next weekend. And by the time the 4th of July hits, it's going to be full bore on the track and really running at this point. So I think there is a lot of racing coming in the next month to 6 week period. And if you want to go racing, you can do a lot of it in the next, say, 6 weeks between now and that first week of August if you really want to.
Oh, yeah. If you're willing to put in the miles, there's races. There's multiple races at Franklin County. There's multiple races up at Silverback, Lisbon. You got the Maniac Mountain Texas Mud Drags race. You've got MRA, lots of local fast track mud racing. There's all sorts of racing going on all over the country right now.
KOI is hitting its stride with their fair racing. I think, I believe it's this week is their first week of a race someplace every night. So, and I think they're on that for about the next 4 or 5 weeks as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of racing to happen. And if you want to get out, folks, now's the time to do it. You've had plenty of time to get ready. Now's the time to get rolling. So,
and the big thing with KOI is as long as it's not pouring during the event, they will do their damnedest to scrape that track clean to put on a show.
That is also true. Very much so. So, all right. So, transitioning out of our results and into our news portion of the broadcast, so to speak, what do we got? Sword. What came out of the Silverback informational department today?
The Silverback informational department, man, I just woke up from a nap. Help me out.
The Weekend of Thunder flyer.
Oh, there you go. That was kind of a lead on, man. I'm not good at that.
I thought it was Pro Truck Weekend. What happened to that?
No,
That's
it's
the
Weekend
following
of Thunder.
weekend.
Why is it? I thought it was Pro Truck Nationals weekend. What happened?
It is not Pro Truck Nationals weekend. It is Weekend of Thunder. So it is not a sanctioned Pro Truck Nationals event due to some
Oh,
Unforeseen scheduling
unforeseen
conflicts.
circumstances. That's pretty much the size of it. So, and that's okay. It still will have a lot of the things you come to expect with a Pro Truck weekend. Just maybe not the same crew as normal Pro Truck Nationals weekend behind the scenes type of work. So that's pretty much what's going to happen. This is purely
Friday looks
Silverback's
really
weekend.
exciting for that.
What's that?
Friday looks really exciting for that. I don't know.
Friday looks very exciting. Sword, what do you have?
I got nothing right now because I can't find it.
Word.
Like, you
Oh
want to be
God.
honest? I'll be honest. I can't find shit.
All right, hold
Oh my
on.
God. So
Help me.
You know
We're
what?
trying. All right, you got it up. Okay, so Weekend of Thunder, July 4th through the 6th. Remember, basically racing Friday to July 4 and Saturday, July 5. 6 is in there just to make sure if there's a weather delay or something happens, there's kind of a bleed over day. So
Sure.
Friday, July 4, Pro Truck Elite Night. John, what is going on? And let's talk about the changes because if you're a truck guy, this is where you want to be. That's just plain and simple how it is.
Well, yeah, actually, I think it's going to be a bonus to the truck guys. It's going to allow more to play.
Absolutely.
So and more are going to have a shot at more money. It's going to turn out to be quite a great replacement weekend, to be honest.
I believe so.
Friday, the gates open at noon. Test and tune is 3 to 5 p.m. Racing starts at 6 p.m. Pro Truck Elite, 8 fastest qualifiers, 200 entry, 100% payout, plus $1,500 added to the payout.
So that's
Pro Mod-
100% entry fee plus an additional 1,500.
That is correct. And I was
All
going
right.
to kind of go over that here in a minute.
Yep.
But the next class will be Pro Mod Truck Elite. The next quick 8 qualifiers, 150 entry at 100% payout plus $1,000. The next Super Truck Elite, next 8 qualifiers after the Pro Mod trucks, $100 entry, 100% payout plus another $500.
Hey, John, I think you said
So-
that wrong. There's
I don't
nothing
think
about
I did.
There's nothing about qualifiers in here. It says qualifiers.
Oh,
Qualifier.
come on.
We need qualifiers.
There's a qualifier and a qualifier. Actually, if you look at the one to the other.
Oh,
it does say
Tom.
qualifier.
So let's be honest, I was doing him a favor here on
But
this
what
flyer.
you're telling Isaac is he needs to bring his shotgun and shoot some quail.
Hey, if we're talking about if we're gonna
I know. Did you see Isaac perk up, dude? He started growing hair.
He heard he heard hunting and was like, oh boy.
if we're going to talk to Dave Villanueva from Texas Sand about his Dunner classes,
Yeah.
because he spelled it Dunner, not Dooner.
Yep.
We're gonna
obviously gonna have to
talk about
to
how you get these
Chum.
qualifiers instead of
Absolutely. Chum, what are you doing, buddy?
qualifiers, dude. Is that giant quail? What is that?
I don't know. I think
Don't
I'm
hit
packing
one.
my helmet and my over-under to just see what happens once.
You can
So
see
they
I
need-
go down the truck with a helmet and a shotgun.
So the Super Truck Elite guys need to carry quails with them when they race. What is this?
It's
Maybe, since they all have to have 2 seats, maybe the passenger is ready for game and the other guy just have to drive. I don't know.
I think it's a hunter/racer event.
I mean, it's interesting.
This is interesting. We should have a qualifier race now.
I mean, everybody's doing it.
If people who compete in that Super Truck Elite class don't at least have like a quail, a stuffed quail, or like something with them while they race.
Something to
They
throw
need-
up for Isaac when he yells, pull.
Yes, and this will freaking troll Chum so hard. They need to do that. I will fund all 8 stuffed quails if they.
Oh wow!
All right.
Make
so
sure they're
let's talk
expensive
about
ones.
let's talk about Pro Truck Elite. So, what's the big news of the day? Since what day is this going to drop? Like Thursday?
Correct.
Okay. So here's our news. World Sand Drag News, Joe Tony's High Gear Transmissions, and Joe Holtoff High Performance have come together to put out a bounty. The first guy to run a 2.9 anything. I don't care if it's 2.9999999 all the way across the street. As long as doesn't start with a 3 and it starts with a 2, the first guy to break that 2.9 into that 2.9 index is getting $250 cash.
Nice.
No, that just makes me think, if that doesn't happen that Pro Truck weekend, is that open to any track then?
Well, that's
Any
my
track?
next question. Is that by our track only, or is that various tracks included?
No,
No,
that is
that-
only at Pro Truck Elite this
Yeah.
Friday
Okay.
night. Now,
Okay.
and
Or next
also,
Friday?
exactly. Yes. Yep. Friday, July 4th. And with the chip draw entry, who knows how it's going to work? You're not going to be able to lay back because you may not
Right.
be the first pair out. And if there's multiple guys, I could see multiple guys making a run at this. You won't be able to just lay back for the first round. You're going to have to get after it a little bit.
Is it
That's
just
what I love about this chip draw stuff. You know, when you
Okay.
chip draw out those guys, I think that is, it really lays down the line. Just like you said, man, them guys got to pour it out no matter what.
I would be first
Absolutely.
in, I would be first in line. And with either one,
Absolutely.
I would be first in line.
Sure.
Right now, I really see 4 for sure that are capable of it, that should be there. And they were 4 of the top dogs just a couple weeks ago at the Texas Mud Drags race at 200 foot. Vanderwall, Bilesma, Earl's right there. He's almost there himself, and Jason Benson.
I would agree. I would 100% agree. You know, is it possible a guy like Steven Swagger maybe gets that thing to stay straight? And because I think they've been 330 already. I mean, I know that's 3/10, but still, I don't think the 330 even was a clean pass for them.
Who knows if Gary Golimski gets his Ranger back running again?
Right? I
highly
mean,
doubt it.
there are guys out there that can, I honestly believe, can run this number. It's just a matter of, well, hey, what about McCord's new truck?
Right.
If they have it done, but it's not looking promising as they're getting the Blazer ready to play in the dunes.
I saw
I wonder
that.
where they're at with Ryan Portina's new truck.
As of Texas Mud Drags, they were waiting on the engine. So that's
And
also
that
a group
seems
that's not afraid of hard work to get that thing together either.
And that
Right.
seems to be the common denominator for this sport this year, is waiting on the engine.
Absolutely.
Hey, we'll get back to the podcast in just a minute, but John's got an ad read first.
All right, folks. We're talking about August 1st and 2nd, Legends Showdown, Silverback Off-Road Speedway. We're going to be honoring some great racers. We've got a lot of cash and prizes to get away, including plaques from Lone Star Graphics. We will have other giveaways and prizes as the evening goes on. 100% payouts in all classes. Let's talk about the added money and the people we're honoring. First off, $1,500 for top eliminator 295 index. Next off, $750 for the Bob Reitman Pro Index 325 heads up index class. $500 added to Bob Cameron Quick 16 class. $500 to Steph Taylor's Pro ATV class. $500 to Matt Smith Senior ATV class. $500 to Brian Harrison Pro Truck class. $500 to John Schultz Open Mod class. $500 to the Larry Wagner 4-cylinder class. And $500 to the Jesse McComas Quick 8 ATV class. And we'll also be running comp and pro comp classes that night, with an honorable mention to Kyle Homick also. So with all that, we will get back to the program.
Billy Teeters.
I have a question for you, Isaac.
Yes.
Who is your top 5 in Pro Truck Elite?
Top 5. I'm going to go with number 1, Jason Benson, just because, as I've said prior, to be the man, you've got to beat the man, and nobody has beat him yet in Pro Truck Elite. He did lose to our eventual winner in Todd Bilesma at the Texas Mud Drags, but nobody has beat him, whether he was running McCord's old square body or his own Jeep. Nobody's beat him yet in Pro Truck Elite. So I'm still going to go number 1 there. Number 2, I'm going to go with Mr. Todd Bilesma, previously unranked in Pro Truck Elite, my top 5 from last year. And let me say this, okay? I caught a lot of heat for that and everything else, and I'll take it. I enjoyed it. It was fun. But my reasoning there was not because of Todd, because Wine Time seems to pick the wrong time all the time to give him trouble. It was never Todd. It was the truck let him down more than he let the truck down. And that's why it was hard to rank him in that top 5 last year, because everybody else was so strong. Number 3, I'm still going to put Earl, because I think Earl very well could come out that first pair in competition next Friday night and run a 295, right? I mean, let's face it. He's close enough. Tony McQuetty said they didn't even touch the plugs the entire weekend at Texas Mud Drags, and he's been, 306 already?
Yes.
With the right air, I really believe there's a 290 something in that thing, and that would be unbelievable, because that thing is a little fat. I think that it's not light, not nearly as light as either one of the Jeeps. Number 4 has got to be Curtis Combs. That dude came up and really put a hurting on everybody last year. Did very, very well. Hopefully, maybe they've got their motor back and ready to rock by, next weekend. I don't know that for sure, but, here's hoping. I'd love to see those guys come back up. And number 5, I'm going to go with Jason Vanderwall. Those guys are the epitome of hard work, man. They kicked butt at the Texas Mud Drags. They got that thing back together. They ran strong, made some really, really good passes with it. And, hopefully for them, they don't have some sort of catastrophic failure, because that's kind of them and Todd Bilesma. It's kind of been the same thing. It's been run really hard, but have some sort of catastrophic failure that ends up taking them out. And hopefully they don't have that at the Pro Truck Elite race, and we see a full night of that thing making full passes. So I think those 5 guys really have a shot. But I'll be honest, I would love to see somebody outside. I mean, whether it's, Michael McCord having the square body ready to go, and, it's there on the property, it could get going. Or maybe somebody we're not even talking about, I mean, there's other cars out there as well. I saw Willie Bursley is confirmed. We haven't seen anything out of that thing yet. He
broke that tranny, so yeah, he tried. But
but he confirmed today that he was going to be there. So
I'm saying, we haven't seen nothing because of that. He was out, but wasn't able to make anything happen.
I mean, last year he was that close to going to that final instead of Jason Benson. I mean, so I would love to see somebody even not on the list make a big appearance, make a big show. I think all 3 of these classes are going to be awesome. Now, just something else to remind anybody. If you're watching this on Thursday and you're wondering, hey, on these other classes, let me get it back up here myself. The Pro Mod Truck Elite and the Super Truck Elite, both of those are open to anything that fits the Pro Truck rules, not necessarily the Elite rules. So they don't have to have 2 seats. They don't have to have all that stuff. This is going to be like heads up Pro Truck in the lower classes. So
like if I were to show up, I could possibly get into one of them.
Absolutely, because it's going to be the tightest. It's going to be the next tightest 8 cars after the top 8 guys. So you could have a bunch of like 350 and 360 cars in one of them, and like 380, 390 trucks in the other. But it's still going to be all heads up.
So real similar to like what the Hayfield Shootout does.
It is very much like the Hayfield Shootout format that Matt Willis put together. And, it seems to work really well. Actually, I mean, we know it does work really well, and it gives a lot of different people a chance to run heads up when maybe they wouldn't necessarily, be able to most of the time.
Right.
Totally.
But yeah, we also have 350 bracket going on Friday night, and we have an open bracket class. So I mean, and there's 2 qualifiers for 295. I mean, there's a ton of racing already, and it's only Friday at
And
the
that's
weekend.
only in Michigan.
Dude.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
you guys might actually race past 9 o'clock this time. It's gonna be crazy.
I would think we might be flirting with the curfew on Friday night.
Yeah,
So
I have to flip the lights on.
that's right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Y'all usually have been finishing in a very good time this year. So
Yep.
well, those limits are going to get pushed this weekend at the Outlaw race, but we'll get into that in a few moments.
Yep. And then Saturday is a full program of your regular Silverback off-road raceway classes. So, I mean, that's going to be a really good weekend. By the way, also, us here at World Sand Drag News and our partner, Joe Tony's High Gear Transmissions, has a special surprise. What are you doing? Cut it out.
Look at my chest.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
You said World Sand Drag News.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have surprise coming for the winner of Pro Truck Elite on Friday night, and all I got to say is stay tuned to the live stream because it's going to be cool, and I think it's really going to set the tone for that class going forward. So
Just make sure you got signal because I can't wait to watch that.
Thankfully, they're supposed to be upgrading the Wi-Fi at the track for this weekend, let alone next weekend.
Well, I mean, there is Wi-Fi at the track if you have the right password. Just throw that one out there.
Oh.
So, all right. So, Damian Bauer, speaking of this weekend at the track, and this will be coming up directly after the podcast goes live, we've got the Outlaw Series up there, June 27, 28, their big race in Michigan this year. Walk us through what everything looks like. I know gates are going to open on Thursday already for people to come in. And then Friday, is there a test and tune Friday or not? I didn't look at the flyer.
Starts at noon, runs to I believe 4 or 5 o'clock. Then obviously that test and tune. Usually see a lot of dune trucks that won't end up in the brackets or anything, but sometimes you see some different ones that show up and decide they'll stay and race. Heck, one dude decided to stay and race a couple years ago with a big orange truck, and now he's got a blown S10.
Also true. John Van Vielen, shout out to you, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Friday night, we're looking at some of the most competitive racing of the weekend, honestly. You've got the 4.0 index and 350 indexes. Big classes up there in Michigan. The Outlaw bracket, formerly the Nickel Nightmare class. That's looking to be a great show because that's where John makes his bread and butter. But he's also got a lot of people that's coming up there to run in that class. You're going to have the likes of Carson Combs, Austin Bullock. My dad's going to be running in that class.
Uh-oh.
Hey, he's got to defend that points lead somehow.
I know, right?
But it's looking to be a great class, as well as a couple of qualifiers for the King of the Outlaws 295 index. Looking to be a really big field for that this weekend, especially with 2 new cars moving from the Pacific Northwest down to Tennessee. They're making their East Coast debut this weekend, the Berg family.
Awesome.
Then you move on to Saturday. You've got the 450 index, which is really similar to Pro Truck, just without the car limitations. And a 50 instead of a 40 is the slowest you can dial. As well as the open bracket. I believe, if I pull up the flyer here real quick, now that I'm thinking about it.
Oh God, you're supposed to know this stuff, Damien. As I
I
also
almost
look
had
up
it all
the
off the
flyer.
top of the head, but I wasn't sure about the ATV classes.
Aren't you the official media correspondent for Gravel?
Not yet. They just now added me to the page.
Or anything outlaw.
But they are
Yeah.
having an ATV sportsman class on Saturday. 100%
Mm.
payback class. Standard $50 entry fee for up there in Michigan. As well as that's the day of the eliminations for King of the Outlaw. Last year, I believe 21 cars. So who knows how big that class can get this year.
That's huge.
You
Yeah,
know,
I
you
think it's a
you
huge
guys may not
class.
even have to worry about that curfew if you ain't running the rest of Silverback. I thought they were running the rest of Silverback's program on top of the Outlaw stuff. So
No, the Outlaw
no,
series comes up. They mostly run their same program with a couple of added classes such as ATV
sure,
because there is a decent ATV crowd up there. It's not
yeah,
something we really have to fill in down here where we're at normally.
yeah. You guys hate ATVs down there. I get it. Yeah, it's fine. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
kind of brutal.
We used to let them run
Isaac,
with
we
us.
should
They just
show up
don't
with our
like running
bikes
with
to
us
last
either.
blast and just raise hell.
ATV guys in this area don't like the car guys, apparently.
Well, how many of them you actually talk to? Come on.
Me, a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure.
it comes down to just, especially with the clay tracks, we run the difference in prep that the car guys want compared to the ATV guys wanting. We'll let them run. We'll usually have an ATV class at like Last Blast or some normal bracket races at Cleves, but generally we only get 4 or 5 people that'll show up for those classes.
I remember when I showed up to my first last blast, you guys actually ran an ATV class that Chad Omer and Tim Engel actually ran in because they were the only two ATVs there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I get at is it's not. It just ever since Azra's fell apart, the ATV in the car world here in Indiana and Ohio just really hasn't meshed.
That's true. And
Well,
let's face
maybe it
it,
should come back.
the ATV guys can run like KOI and that sort of stuff and run 4 nights a week and not have to deal with going to a car track.
Exactly.
That's really where,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which ain't a bad thing. It gives them both options, and that's what they prefer running. We prefer running something different. Our tracks, especially if there's a lot of moisture in them, I've watched them try and race ATVs on them and end up on their sides almost, flipping them over just before they get to the tree.
Well, I don't know if an ATV guy could wait 30 minutes for a grade either. That would just be
Right.
that they would just.
So that
That'd
being said,
kill
then
me.
here's an interesting one. Dan Nineheist wants to run King of the Outlaw, in or out?
He's probably out.
The
And-
three-wheeler,
Knowing those guys, dude, they would not let him. I don't think.
the three-wheeler, I'm going to say they probably will not let him. That's something they need to contact Dan Sizemore and Cody Trice about. But I would say most likely he would not be allowed to run that class.
Well, I don't know who Dan Sizemore is because it says contact Cody Trice, Ryan Wilson, or Otis.
That's Otis.
I know, I'm kidding, but it's just funny how it gives the other two guys his full names and it's just Otis.
Yeah. It just speaks for itself.
Yeah,
Not
it
gonna
does.
lie. First year I went to Last Blast. I heard both. I had no clue who Dan Sizemore was, but I knew who Otis was by the time we left at the end of the weekend. I'm like, I don't know who that cat is, but I get a friend request. I'm like, who's this dude?
Yeah,
And then you
right.
see the picture and you're like, oh, Otis.
Or you're announcing the race, you're like, Otis, I thought you were racing tonight. This Daniel Sizemore guy is doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, Otis ain't been driving too much this year. He's had his boy Blaine at the wheel, and Blaine's been doing really good at the wheel of that old Dreyer car.
For sure. Shout out to Blaine. I'm actually
Yeah.
well, I'm not gonna say now. I'm surprising with it. Blaine, I have a surprise for you, maybe.
You know, on post.
So
If it looks
Isaac-
like Geta,
Isaac-
you better share with the rest of us.
no. Nobody gives. I ain't giving get it to anybody but my dog.
Speaking of which, okay, maybe that's something we got to go over here.
Well, no,
So-
because I got something. Because you already brought it up. It's the 295 thing with Dan Nine Ice and the cars. I would love to see a 295 index with cars and bikes. Think about how many bikes you could have in that to field it and be competitive. Like
You know how many hearts he would break?
Jeff Guo has no shit. Like how
The
many bikes would actually be decent in the class? Yeah.
The reason I bring that up, Eric Vyers aboard his, I believe, Hayabusa bike won 325, which is pro index at Silverback.
That's where they
beginning of
made the
June?
cutoff.
Dude, and I was actually wrong. That was not the Hayabusa bike he ran that on. That was his 4-cylinder snowmobile bike. And I think he
Okay.
bought that from Jeff Guo.
Yes. So, I mean, it's not that I too would like to see it. I really would. Just
Let's
because
just
I
say,
think
let's call it what it is. I mean, the Dan Nineheist would love to run with the cars. Yeah, I think it's the cars that don't want to pair
No,
so much
and
with the
that's
bike.
And that's
big-
exactly what it is.
That's the big thing, and it's mainly for the fact of, and this is coming from someone I've raced up there and had to run the 3-wheelers in the shake and bake race. I'm personally not a fan of it either, but it's more of the fact of something happens where he comes in my lane or I go in his lane, I'm most likely going to be fine. He's going to be hurting really badly.
Yeah, and this is where we
And-
have
and
this is
learn
the
how to
part.
drive.
This is the part where we
Learn
have
how
the
to
conversation.
drive, stay in your lane.
This is the part where we have the conversation. We're like, well, he knows the risk, and you're like, well, I don't want to kill him, and then blah, 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 blah.
I know.
It's just
Yeah, it's
bleh.
Well, here's the
So-
thing. This goes on in the asphalt. Asphalt cars, they run bikes versus cars all the time. I don't
but
understand
up
what's
to what point?
up to what. Well, you're right. I'll give you that. Up to a certain degree, and that's where we're at now. We figured at our track, from what I've seen, at 325 is kind of what that border is.
You're telling me if Cody Trice's car was on the asphalt, he wouldn't be running a Top Sportsman?
Yes, but in Top Sportsman, would he be running against bikes?
Right. That's what we're saying.
So,
Well, you actually stumped me because I was
so what
expecting
we're
you to say
saying,
no.
what we're saying is, Mike Goodell and his dragster at 325 is safer than Eric Eschbaugh at 325 on the 4-cylinder.
That's
I would.
it's murky territory, is where we're getting
Right?
at with this.
It's
mean,
basically
You're not
it's,
lying.
it's on versus in. It's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah.
On versus in.
All
I
right.
mean, that's a true. I mean, that's true. But this is also why, if you have a bike that can run 320s, 310s, 30s, 290s, I mean, you see what they're wearing. They look like freaking Batman, dude. They're
yeah.
going to be fine.
I'm just
Yeah.
thinking, the only reason I bring it up, I can think of one other bike that is probably 295 capable besides Dan. And I would be very interested to see both of those bikes attempt to qualify. And I'm going to say would probably go top half of the field at the Outlaw.
Oh,
race.
for sure. Definitely.
So,
Agreed.
but I mean, hey, not saying that the decision is wrong if you're not going to let them run. I'm just throwing it out there because conversation and get things moving a little bit. So that's all.
If I was the bike guys, I would call out the winner.
Ooh.
Top eliminator and say, let's
That
go
is
at it.
that's a that would be a good step.
Dude,
Maybe
I was
Dan
sick with
just
that
calls out
bait.
the winner, and then he just gets an extra run. Or, I mean, Weekend of Thunder, Dan versus Doug.
Right.
Never know. It could happen.
Well,
Doug,
I'm
don't be a
pretty
pussy.
I'm pretty sure Doug's got the 295 tune-up in it this weekend. So
Oh, we do. We're coming to play, boys.
there we go. All right,
Going to
Damien, what do you
Playboy?
got?
Now, I
Well,
was
we'll go
gonna
there too.
say,
Hell yeah.
now that we've gotten 2 weekends worth of previews for this weekend and next week up in Silverback, down here we've also got racing going on 4th of July weekend with the Franklin County 4-wheelers big payout bracket race.
Is that sponsor added money? to
Wait,
that,
is
or
that
is
added
Unfortunately,
payout?
right now, with the way things are, they do not have sponsor money in it yet. They are trying to find some, but it's going kind of hard right now, the way the economy and everything's going. But they are also having a second chance race for anyone that loses in the first round, another $50 entry fee there as well.
Yeah, I like that.
See, I
I
don't
like
hate
that
that.
idea.
I love
So,
buybacks.
And it's almost
No, not a
70
buyback. It's
That's what we
right,
did the
Damien.
first year of Shake and Bake. The first year of Shake and Bake, we
Right.
did that.
It's usually 60, 70 cars in the first round of the big payout race in Franklin County. 100% payback usually pays $5 or $6 grand. Sometimes the club will even chip in their own money. I don't know if that's going to be feasible this year with the insurance increases this year, but
Time
with
out.
the
If you're gonna add money, do it before the race, people. Don't do it during the race. Just saying it'll help your car count.
I understand that, but they don't know if they're going to have the money sometimes till the day up.
That don't work for a lot of people.
I
Get him,
understand
John.
that, but
Get him, John.
but even then, having that 70 car field and then having a first round only second chance race with a $50 entry, that gives a lot of people a lot more incentive to come in and say, hey, I've still got a chance to go after some money.
I
Yeah,
tell
I
you
I
what,
like
deal.
that.
shout out to, I don't know, I'm guessing Anthony Ball and the group from Franklin College. Shout out for that then. I love that.
Yeah.
And that is some really good thinking outside of our normal sand drag box
Right.
to get something together.
And that
Sure.
also will give those still in the bracket more time between rounds, not having to rush up. They do a chip draw for each round to where everyone goes up, you draw numbers, and every 8th pair, they grade the track. So they stay on top of it a little bit more for that race. They try and keep the track smoother because, heck, we have some faster cars that show up just for that bracket race. Leighton Mallow, a former winner of it. Heck, even from what I've been hearing, the Bergs are probably considering coming down to run the big money bracket race as well.
That's
cool.
I like that. And to be honest, with the little bit of added extra time it does take for grading there, you might as well chip draw at that point. I mean, I'll
Right.
say this. At Silverback, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because you can grade way faster than you can pull off a chip draw.
Oh, yeah.
Someplace like Brookville stuff, you got a little bit of time, and that's no knock on their grading. It just is what it is. It takes a little longer. That's fine. Why not knock a chip draw out during that and,
Yep.
make it work? So I love it, man.
That's what they've done for all the big payout races they've done so far. John Sorg's been down there real close to the money at the first one. And it's been a hit. And then everyone knowing the order they go in has eased up some of the tensions in staging because normally, and John has seen this as well for the bracket, they do the 4-lane chip draw. The moment they think the class before them is over, there is a rush to get to the front of staging for the fact of double entries and people that want a fresh track on that surface.
Right. So, and let's face it, if you really wanted to, because there's people that have done it, if you really wanted to, you could run Friday night at Silverback and run Saturday at Brookville.
Curtis
It's
and
been
Carson
done.
Combs.
People do it. It is 100% possible. If you want to run some heads up on Friday night and run that big bracket on Saturday, it's definitely doable. I'd love to see somebody pull a double up, type of thing. I tell you what, I would even, we should discuss this further maybe down the road. I don't know if it's feasible for this year. Maybe we should offer a double up incentive. If somebody could go some rounds and maybe even podium on Friday night at Silverback, and if you could pull off a podium the next day, say at Brookville or something, you deserve a little extra money. And I think maybe we need to talk about that maybe for next year.
Maybe we can convince Racing in the Dirt to throw up something for that.
Also possible. So, all
Long
right.
Haul Award.
Hey, you leave our sponsors alone. They're fine what they're doing. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Shout out to Racing in the Dirt.
Shout out our friends at Racing in the Dirt.
But yeah,
all right.
Anybody willing to get a hold of Franklin County Four Wheelers page, Anthony Ball, Marta Ball, and try and pitch in any kind of sponsor money for that race, they would love that.
Well, I will say sponsor money don't come easy, and you gotta go hunt for that shit. So
yes, you do.
And
they have been hunting for it because just to pay the insurance this year, it went up a bunch.
That is true. That is
for
true.
sure. Okay, we'll get back to paddle talk again here in just a second. But first, big shout out to racinginthedirt.com. Parts, equipment, and apparel for all your off-road competition needs. Racing in the Dirt has just one mission. That's to help all their customers compete at their very best. With over 40 years of motorsports competition experience, they know what it takes to maintain that competitive edge, and they are equipped to keep you there. On-site welding and fabrication, incredible selection of parts, experience and helpful staff as well. They got tons and tons of products, and they got a big announcement coming out soon. Products such as wheel adapters, hub kits, brake hat kits, braking hub components, suspension parts, air filters, knuckles, axles and parts, chain drives and driveline, limiter straps, parachute setups, side-by-side and UTV parts, and they also have Racing in the Dirt apparel as well. They also have turnkey builds. They build chassis, do-it-yourself wheelie bars, tires and wheels, which is probably what they're most known for is their tires and wheels maybe, or their full builds. Those are probably their two big ones right there. But they have big news coming out very soon. You can get a hold of Racing in the Dirt at 920-693-2000. You could also email them at Shane, S-H-A-N-E, Shane, at racinginthedirt.com. And then just check out their website, racinginthedirt.com. Check out their Facebook, Instagram, all their socials. They got it all. And racinginthedirt.com always has the best for all their racers. And we'll take you back to the podcast.
All right, Billy. Thunder Valley's got the Bad Nationals coming up, BAD coming up. Was that 4th of July weekend as well? So
no, it's this Friday and Saturday. It starts tomorrow. If we're not rained out, they might be rained out. I don't know, because we got rain. We got rain chances. I'll check it right now. We are recording this on Monday. We used to record on Tuesdays, but scheduling stuff, it's easier to do this on Mondays for everybody. So, rain chances for Grain Valley, Missouri, which is where Thunder Valley is located. We are just 20 minutes east of Kansas City, Missouri. Literally Arrowhead Stadium, which is right down the highway. It's awesome.
Oh, cool. I didn't realize it was that close.
Yeah. Yeah, because you wouldn't drive by it because you come from the other way.
Right.
So there is a 25% chance of rain on Friday and 40% chance of rain on Saturday, but it doesn't look like it looks like it's closer towards the evening when that gets started. And it looks like, and I live about 90 minutes east of the track or west of the track, but it looks like it's I thought it was going to start raining, but it's just doing some little spitting now. Kids are outside playing in it, so that tells me that's not terrible. But the track has plenty of time to dry. It's supposed to be 90s the rest of the week. Sun's out and whatnot. As Cody said, poorly advertised maybe, but we are shifting the focus, and I gotta stop saying we because I only help out a little bit. They are trying to shift the focus to the big race being in September, the weekend after Labor Day. And from what I hear, that's the weekend they're going for now on for September, the weekend after Labor Day every year. That's going to be their big come race with us at Thunder Valley race.
2 weeks after gravel every year.
Sure. Oh yeah, correct. And then I don't really know what the June 2-day race is going to be. Probably more like just a party for the locals, maybe. Just get together 2 days at the track, doing some racing, some passes and stuff like that. If I had to guess what's going on Friday, we're going to probably do some test and tune. And I mean, I can probably see them doing a 50-50 for cars and a 50-50 for bikes, but then that's probably it. And then Saturday, they'll probably Saturday's just going to be our usual show with top eliminator. So Friday, we'll do probably 2 top eliminator qualifying runs as well. That means Saturday we'll be running our usual program, Sport Comp, which is open bracket for trophy for cars, Sport ATV, open bracket for trophy for ATVs, and then Pro 2 ATV, 5.0 and slower, cash payout, Pro 1 ATV, $4.99 and faster on a Pro Light, cash payout, and then Pro Comp, which is just an open bracket race for cars with cash payout as well. And then we'll have top eliminator, 295 index as well. So yeah, Thunder Valley Sand Drag's place to be. I'll be there. I'm gonna be running, well, as many classes as I can get in, really. If my bike runs good enough, I'll get in. If I run Pro 1, that'd be dope. I ain't gonna lie.
That's a mini bike class, ain't it?
No, one day. One day, Damien. One day. One day.
Oh, the matchup. I could see it coming. So, all right. So since we're talking bracket racing, Billy,
Sure.
Do you have a list you'd like to share with us as well?
Oh gosh, I do. And this news segment has turned into a preview segment. Surprise, folks. But oh well, do you want to talk about the KOI thing first?
So, well, I mean,
I have the KOI Michigan race, not the
here's what I have, folks. We have word on the street that another KOI race in Michigan is at this point of recording is almost imminent. Now, I've been trying to stay updated while we've been recording. I have not got confirmation that all parties have contractually fulfilled their obligations at this point. So there is some waiting. Possibly by the time this comes out, it may be a done deal, but stay tuned. We'll just say that for right now, and very well could be a big announcement coming next week as far as if you want to, let's just put it this way. There's a very good chance if you want to run heads up in Michigan, later on in July, the possibility is getting quite high. So we'll just leave it at that for right now.
KOI going to Michigan. KOI going to Silverback. I'm guessing it.
No.
Oh, fine. Whatever. Well, that's all. That's what it was. I thought that's what it was. You
No,
built
no.
it up to seem like that, so.
There's a few good tracks up there they could go to, actually. That would be
Are
a
they going to
really good
Greens?
fit for KOI.
You're not
No.
going to Greens.
No.
No.
Somewhere else that we've heard about grading issues.
No, actually. In
They
fact,
have pretty good grading.
Nope. No, in fact, this is honestly, this is, yeah, it's new, and it is also not the place I'm scouting out this coming Saturday after I get out of work, which is down at the Roush Off-Road Park. They have put in a track there, or at least are trying to get a track in down there, and I will be going down there on site on Saturday. Since I get out of work later than to be able to make it to the Outlaw race, I will be going down there to kind of check some things out and, kind of give us all an idea of what that kind of looks like. So yeah.
Great.
So
forward to
Damien, you
seeing
guys are gonna be.
I want to see WSD and TV on that.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
Damien, what day are you guys leaving to make the Outlaw race? Friday morning?
Thursday night.
Thursday night. Okay.
Go up there, go to Peels, and pick up our trailer and head over to the track.
Hey, film some WSD and TV stuff for the YouTube, like behind the scenes stuff of you traveling and in the pits and stuff.
Which I'm picking up a rental car Thursday, so I'll be heading up there. So yeah, I'll do some stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
If I get there early enough, I'll stop in at the International Monster Trucker Museum and Hall of Fame up there in Butler on my way up.
That'd be cool too. No jungle juice from your dad though.
Johnny,
There's
when
plenty
are you,
of it up there in Michigan already.
When are you heading to the Outlaw race?
About the time this thing's released, I'll be on the road.
All right.
There you go.
There you go.
Something for you to listen to on the way there. Look at that.
That's right.
Perfect. Yeah. Hey, great stuff. We did a great podcast this week, guys. So, like I said, plenty of racing coming up. We've got Outlaw Series of Silverback. We've got Weekend of Thunder at Silverback. We've got BAD at Thunder Valley. We have Money Race down at Franklin County, aka Brookville. We start hitting our stride up here in the Midwest with fair racing coming up. I mean, there is all kinds of stuff getting ready to go off here in the Midwest. It's time to go racing, and just a great time of year. Hopefully the weather cooperates a little better than it has this first, we'll say, third of the season, as way too many rainouts, but looking good. So, all right, final thoughts, Damien Bowers.
Just a lot of great racing coming up. The bracket racing is going to be really tight because it's when we get to finally see the Franklin County and the Michigan crowd mesh up. There's bound to be a lot of cars from up in the Lisbon area, including Zora and Cameron and all that bunch. So it's bound to be some of the tightest racing we're going to see this year.
Absolutely. Billy Teeters.
Instead of final thoughts, let's do winners picks for
All right.
King the Outlaw for this weekend.
Okay.
I don't care who goes first. I'll go first. Should we do a rule where we can't each choose the same person?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
First person's probably going to pick Roe.
Well, we should have better planned this because now.
Oh no, the impromptu is all
Okay,
about.
fine. You know what? Fuck it. Adam Rowe. I'm gonna choose Adam Rowe. I know that's probably the one for most of you guys, but I'll just fuck it. Adam Rowe. That's my pick.
All right. Damien Bowers.
I'm going to have to go with Cody Trice.
Okay.
He did
Up
win
there
last
in
year.
that
Did he
sand,
win
they've
last
got
year?
that car figured out, running consistent low 3.0s usually, occasionally dipping into the 2.9s.
He won that race last year, did he not?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll still choose Adam. He's a killer. He'll come back.
Yeah, Roe's an easy pick.
It was, yes. That was a cop out for me.
Both of those are kind of easy picks. But anyway, Johnny, go ahead.
You know, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna go with Doug Van in the mean one. I'm gonna do it.
I knew you were going there.
There's
I'm gonna do
no
it this
bias
time. I'm
there.
gonna do it this time.
You know,
There's-
you should have gone and just put on your crew shirt before you made that pick, so everybody knew what was coming.
We gotta go. I know, right? We gotta go back to back and give it a shot, you know. But the hard part we're gonna struggle with this race is we lost all of our data in that fire from the motorhome.
Wait,
Oh.
there is no, you don't get to put it like asterisk there. If we lose, it's because we lost the laptop in the motorhome. Nah,
That
I
was
didn't say we
that.
lost. I
See,
said it
you
caught
just
on
copped
fire
yourself
and
out.
burned up.
Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah, I guess you could call it that. But we found the burned remains.
All right, fair
Of the
enough.
laptop.
No, I don't know. It sounded good though.
Yeah, that sounded gross for a second. Who's your
Oh.
pick, Isaac?
Yeah.
You know, I'm going out on a limb here, and
Ooh,
he better not let me down.
ooh.
I'm picking Ryan Wilson in their new car. So, Jamie, whatever you got to do to get your man in the right headspace before this weekend, get him going. And Ryan, it's all you, buddy. That new car is beautiful. Made some great hits with it, getting it out a couple weekends ago. I got big faith in you. So, my pick is Ryan Wilson for King of the Outlaws this weekend. I think that car's going to go rounds. And I tell you what, Ryan knows how to not only knows how to bracket race, he knows how to run the number. If that car will run the number, look out for him going some rounds this weekend.
Yeah, that car is
Yeah.
cool. Is he driving it? Is he driving it, or is it Jamie?
I believe Ryan's driving, is he?
It'll probably be Matt.
Okay.
Matt was driving it at the spring race. Jamie was running the quick 16 class at the big payout race at Cleves.
Okay. All right. Well, either way, that car, no matter who's wheeling it out of that group, that is my pick to go some rounds there in King.
Twin car to Kathy Ellington's.
Correct. Very much so. And let's face it, maybe there's somebody we haven't talked about. There's somebody right there, Kathy Ellington, who could easily put her mark on this thing too. So
if they can get it to 60 foot. I've also heard Jay Portanga's got a new engine going in Drag Nasty.
oh, well, that could be interesting. So, all right. So that is going to wrap this episode of the Paddle Talk podcast. Great to have you along, folks. Thanks for sticking in there. Thanks to the panel for being here. And parting thought, 24 years ago, the world of drag racing in the U.S. changed. The Fast and the Furious debuted in theaters. There you go. Have a great week, everybody.
All
We'll see you
that
next week.
nah.